Hello, welcome to my review of the high-grade MS-11 Act Zaku, released by Bandai in 2018 as a P-Bandai kit, selling for a price of 2,000 yen. Although if you live outside Japan, you're going to pay a little bit more than that. The Act Zaku is a very interesting mobile suit. It traces its roots back to just after Mobile Suit Gundam aired in Japan. And yet this kit is actually based on an origin design that just came out a few years ago. So let's talk about that just a little bit. So the Act Zaku began its life as a manga side story called MSX, and the design was done by Kunio Okawara. It looked like this. It was a very interesting design. And what happened was when Zeta Gundam was announced and animated, that idea was kind of canceled, and the Act Zaku made its way into Zeta Gundam, looking like this. Now, that's where me, the Zeta Gundam junkie, was made aware of the mobile suit. It didn't have a lot of screen time, and what screen time it did have was not very glorious at all, but it was another mobile suit from Zeta Gundam, so it was on my radar. Over the years, it appeared in various Gundam games in this form, more closer to the original line art. However, this model kit is based on this design by Hajime Katoki. And this design is from the MSD Gundam The Origin side story manga. And the kit almost perfectly replicates that line art. The sculpt, the details are spot on perfect. And really enhancing them are all these little marking seals that you get along with the kit that really make this Zaku stand out as different from other Zakus. I've never built an Origin high grade before. This is my first one that I've ever built, and I was blown away by the engineering and detail work that was crammed into this small, relatively inexpensive high grade model kit. If you haven't built one of the Gundam The Origin high grades, you owe it to yourself to do so, because this kit is fantastic and a total joy to build from beginning to end. Now, the Act Zaku itself is even more fun because it comes with a whole arsenal of weaponry. So let's take a look at it. A lot of this is included in the Act Zaku Cecilia Forces kit, but you get the regular tomahawks, the large heat hawks, you get beam sabers, you get clips to store the weapons, you get some extra hands, an action-based connector, an optional thruster, the quad machine gun, and a beam rifle. It's a lot of weaponry. It's a lot of accessories. And all of them work very well with the Act Zaku, with the exception of one, but we'll get to that later. First of all, let's start out by talking about my favorite, the large heat hawks. These accessories are beautiful. They're oversized, they're elegantly shaped, they fit in the hands just perfectly. You can hold them like extended at the end of the hilt, kind of like this, and the pommel at the bottom of the handle kind of keeps them from falling out of the hand. But you can also like slide them into the hand and they kind of go at like just the perfect angle and wedge in there perfectly. They're super secure and tight. You also get the quadruple barrel machine gun, which, contrary to what I said in my unboxing, is not unique to this kit. It's actually included with the Cecilia Forces Act Zaku. This is a very unique weapon. It's unlike many other weapons in the Universal Century, especially something that a Zaku would use, and it works very well. The stock rests perfectly against the chest. It's proportioned appropriately for it to be able to be held with two hands, and the extra hand that they give you works very well with the movable little foregrip. Now we talk about the regular heat hawks. They're actually kind of boring. You get one with a little peg that you can peg into either side of the side skirts, and you get one without a peg that slots into the hand. This is the accessory that doesn't work too great. It kind of slides in and out of the hand very easily. Pretty forgettable, actually. Then you get the beam rifle. The beam rifle was used by the Act Zaku because it has a higher output reactor, which allowed it to use beam weaponry. So this rifle is, I think, from the Zaku was where it was first used, but it really looks like a Zaku or Marasai styled beam rifle. And this weapon is unique to this specific kit. And it's one of my favorite ones because it really looks like Zeta Gundam, and it looks like the ones they used in Zeta Gundam. Now, next we're going to talk about the other unique things that come with this Act Zaku, and that's these beam sabers. The beam saber hilts are pretty unique. They're not your standard ones that you get with like a Gundam or a Jim, which makes sense because this is a Zeonic kit. or mobile suit, not kit. I mean, it is a kit, but it's based on the mobile suit from Xeon. Anyway, the beam saber hilts work very well in the hand. They do slide around a little bit, but not enough that you can like make them fall out. Again, they have a little enlarged part on the pommel that keeps them from rolling out of the hands. And coupled with the very specific shoulder design and the little antennas that pop up behind the Act Zaku, these beam sabers look really cool when equipped like this. The next thing I'd like to talk about is some of my favorite things that you could ever put in a kit, and that is weapon storage. You can store almost all the accessories on the Act Zaku at once. You get these little clips on the side skirts that you can plug the large heat hawks in, and then they have this little peg on either one, and you can take the beam rifle and peg it into those little clips, those little tabs that stick out. You also get this dual clip piece that you can store the beam sabers in, and you can also switch those around and put those on any one of the ports all around the Act Zaku. You can put them on the side skirt, you can put them on the back, you can put them on the other side skirt, you can interchange any type of weapon you want, you can throw that little beam tomahawk in there. Whatever you want to do, you have so many options to make it your own. One last little thing that makes it your own is the option to change it between the Origin classic round thrusters on the backpack and swapping that out with this more rectangular one that is more appropriate to the maybe original design, the design that was in Zeta Gundam. Now let's talk about construction. These shoulder parts are very unique. They're unique to this kit. However, they do have a problem. One, they have, as you can see, terrible seam lines across the middle of them. And also they have nubs right in the center of those shoulder pad parts. And I had to work very, very diligently, very carefully to polish and shine those up to make those nub marks disappear as best I could. Now, as this is more of a standard Zaku Origin kit, I'm not going to go over all the articulation, just mention a few of the things. One, the head isn't super articulate, and that's mostly because of the design of the head. However, the movable mono eye gimmick will help you out there. Two, the chest and abdomen area doesn't have a lot of articulation. And what articulation is there is kind of inhibited by this piping that comes around and attaches to the side skirt. And that's probably the only weak part of the whole kit. That side skirt will pop off as you move it around because those pipes are so solid and secure that they overmatch the poly caps that stick into the side skirts. Articulation that shines on this kit is the swiveling hip parts, and my favorite engineering feat in any articulation, a separating knee joint with movable armor. Oh, it is so glorious. This is master grade level engineering crammed into a high grade. The ankles are also very, very nice. One thing that can really take your kit from very boring to very dynamic is good ankles, and this kit has them. So here's the Act Zaku with a high grade Universal Century Goof Custom and the Revive Gundam. While this is a blue mono eye kit, this is a Zaku boy. So all in all, I highly, highly recommend this kit. The Act Zaku isn't that much of a diversion from the standard high-grade Origin Zaku kit. However, where it does diverge is in big ways that really set it apart from other Zakus. Just the fact that those shoulders look completely different than any other mono eye, Zaku, high Zac, whatever you want to call it. They're so unique, they're so different, they're so unlike any other kit. I think they're worth the purchase just for that. You also get the backpack, which has the really cool little antenna. Be careful with those, they are very, very thin. However, I didn't have any problems with mine. And the marking seals that really set it apart. And I think this is a worthy purchase, even as a P Bandai. Most places you're not going to spend more than like $30 for it, and I think it's totally worth that. In addition to all the unique different little features that you get in the Act Zaku, you also get all these extra accessories. And the playability is off the charts. Every time I come back to it, I put it in a different pose, I swap out the weapons. Usually, as you can see, I like to use those big axes. As we go through the channel, you'll see more as to why I am so endeared to those wood chopping tools. But you can swap all those out and continue to have fun over and over and over again. My son comes down and he'll just spend an hour just switching it out, putting it in different poses, interchanging all the different accessories. It's just a joy. It's super solid. It's stable. It's secure. No parts fall off. There's nothing fiddly really about it at all. The articulation that it does have is very natural. You know, sometimes you get kits and the articulation isn't very natural. This has very natural articulation where you can pull out scenes like directly from your own little anime, like right here. So again, overall, this is a great kit, an off the charts kit, a kit that's going to make me buy more kits from the line. I will definitely be buying more Zaku kits from the Origin line just because this one is so good. So if you like what you see here, please consider subscribing. Consider clicking the little like button and commenting down below on what you think about the Act Zaku. Also, if you're looking for a place to purchase the Act Zaku, I'll leave a couple links down below. It's actually seeing a reissue very shortly, and right now the pre-orders are going up. So if you liked what you've seen here in this review, go out and buy one for yourself. All right, see you guys next time.